The name of this campaign is Flumph of the Wild.
Of course it is.
Yes. And it's not one of the published campaigns, but I did base it largely on the lore and stuff out of the Volo's Guide to Monsters. The main theme of the game is that you will all be playing monsters. At the south end of this map, you'll see this long gray line. These are walls. South of that wall is civilization. Civilization is outside of the campaign borders. That's where all your humans and elves and dwarves and whatnot live. North of this wall is where all of these monster races live, constantly besieged by orcs and goblinoids. The other conceit of this campaign is we're doing it without any spellcasting classes. So any class that has like a spellcasting table we will not be using, with some minor asterisks. How many of these hexes have shrines? DT sent to ask. And that's my cue to stop reading Twitch chat while I'm trying to put the game together.
So I already have an issue.
Okay.
Why are you calling it Flumph of the Wild and not Breath of the Flumph?
Because that's horrible.
So
I have a second issue. Monster is a human word, and we will not be using it.
Of course not. Absolutely not. So yeah, basically, the civilization to the south has erected this enormous wall, which is a plot thread that I pulled directly out of Game of Thrones, because I've never done anything original in my life. The difference here is you guys don't live in a frozen wasteland. You guys live in a very, compared to the area south of the wall, you guys live in a very spiritual place. There's much stronger connections to, say, the Feywild and other sources of magic, which creates all of these magical creatures that live here, which through the generations have bred down into basic humanoid versions of those creatures. Things like Hobgoblins and Dragonborn and Aarakocra and whatnot. First thing I want to do before we get into character creation is just go over the house rules that we're going to be using. And this is all old news, pretty much, but the first thing is you do not replenish your HP on a long rest. During a long rest, if you want to heal, you have to spend hit dice. You can spend as many hit dice as you want, and then at the end of a long rest, you regain half of your hit dice. Long rests require safety and comfort. You'll be able to camp out in the woods, provided you can build a fire and secure a perimeter, but you're probably not going to be able to long rest inside of a dungeon room without, like Nath used to use crazy magics to secure areas. You guys probably will not have access to that kind of thing. So long rests inside of very dangerous areas are going to be much more difficult to do. Random encounters in this campaign. The Xanathar's Guide to Everything gives an excellent comprehensive list of random encounters across lots of different kinds of terrain. And it very helpfully breaks it up by character experience level, which I'm going to steadfastly ignore. So I have a mechanism by which to know which level chart to roll on when I roll for a random encounter. This way you guys can run into like Ifriti and Guardian Nagas and things at level 3 instead of at level 17.
I have a question related to that then.
Yes.
So we're from this world, right? Like
Yes.
we're from this like relatively small area. Then when we run into something that's completely fucked, can you kind of let us know? Because we would know that information.
You'll know. I'm not going to...
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be pretty generous with the other 4 players. With you specifically, I might just kill you.
So when I'm in danger, I make sure that I'm around the others so that you can't kill just me.
That's
Got
the
it.
best thing to do, yeah. I actually I haven't given much thought to the scale of this map. I was thinking like each hex is 20 miles, so it's a rather large area, like it's a continent-sized map. But I haven't really given much thought to it. We'll have to kind of discuss what seems relevant.
So, question on like terrain there: mountains, forests, plains, like the different colors.
Yeah, the orange spots are like hilly areas. These turquoise spots are marshland. The green spots are dense forests, and the brown spots are large mountainous terrain.
Okay. I'm assuming that this is ocean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the wall extend through the ocean?
Only in there's 3 spots. There's one all the way over here off the western coast where it connects with a little island. There's another one off the eastern coast where it connects to a little island. And then if you go all the way over here to this other spot, there's another wall that comes up through here.
Got it.
So no, the wall does not extend there. So like ships and things can get through.
What's going on here?
I don't know exactly. I have only very broad strokes of like the history and lore of this place. So
We'll come up with something because that's weird as hell.
yeah, that's why I put that there because I figured it'd kind of be weird as hell. 2 more rules things. The first, and I know we've discussed this with my Flumph players before, but I try to vie for consistency with rules callings between players and monsters. There is one instance where I just unfairly bias monsters. I allow monsters to ready actions outside of the initiative order, and I don't allow players to do that. Because it's in my experience when I tell everybody to roll initiative, but there's no obvious reason why it changes what their actions are, or what they would otherwise do. So you might open a door, and a monster on the other side might have a ready action to shoot you with 9 fireballs, which is what happened to Riot in the last campaign. That's my favorite trick. It actually happened to one of our players last night in my Saturday game, and it was just as funny then. Finally, I have made some changes to how blips are going to work this time. The only feat that I am disallowing from the player's handbook is lucky. And I'm not doing it because I hate the lucky feat. I'm doing it because I like it, and I want everybody to have access to it without having to use a feat slot to take it. So blips are now, instead of being worth 1/20th of a level, they're going to be worth 1/30th of a level. So blips are worth a little bit less, but you will have a lot more chances to earn them. We're going to do the same rundown that we did last campaign: creative, assist, badass, intangibles, and I'll put up a straw poll. Also, you're going to be able to earn blips for alignment, ideal, bond, aspect, and flaw. Basically, every role-playing thing on your character sheet you can win a blip for. So you might come out of a session with 9 blips if you get a bunch of them. Once you earn blips, you can decide whether to keep them as blips or to immediately cash them in for XP. So they're going to be pulling double duty as both your extra experience and what we said last campaign, what we called belief points. So you can cash in 2 blips to reroll basically any die on the table. Pretty much like a slightly more powerful version of inspiration. You can cash in 4 blips for an automatic success on any roll that you make. Or you can cash in 6 blips to activate another ability that I won't be introducing into the campaign just yet. And you can have up a maximum of 6 blips. So the idea being, like, you can hoard 6 blips together, and then any blips you earn on top of that, you can roll right over into bonus XP. I think this will work pretty well. We might have to tweak it as we go, but in general, in Flumphscape, about half of your guys' XP came from blips, and about half came from encounters over the course of the game. And that's pretty much all my rule things. Those are pretty much all of the house rules we're going to be using. Do we have any questions or concerns about any of that?
Let me throw this out there. How reasonable would it be to expand the 4 blips to automatic failure on an enemy's saving throw or something?
I'd be fine with
that.
that.
Was a little bit frustrating as a wizard, as I couldn't use the automatic success.
That's a great idea, and you probably should have floated that last campaign, because I probably would have said yes.
I didn't really think about it until now.
So 2 blips is basically inspiration, and then 4 blips is basically like super inspiration to get your automatic. So yeah, I'll allow that for an automatic failure on an enemy's saving throw or attack roll. Or skill check, but enemies only very rarely make skill checks. Alright, cool. I basically stole that little system because, like I said, I've never done anything original, but McDohl might remember, but the old edition of 7th C, that's how you earned your action dice to, like, you do your wiggle dice stuff to augment your rolls, but you could also cash them in at the end of sessions for extra experience. So we'll see how that system
Sounds
works.
vaguely familiar.
Yeah, they totally revamped it for 2nd edition 7th. It's totally different now, but hopefully it'll be a little easier because now we're only tracking 1 resource instead of 2, at least on my end. But basically, blips will do everything that belief points used to do, and they're going to be about... I'm going to aim for them to be about half of your total experience gained over the campaign. All right. There are a lot of restrictions on character creation this time. I think I'm imposing more restrictions on character creation in this campaign than I have since my 2nd edition days. There are no spellcasting classes allowed with an asterisk, because I know we've discussed some of you like making alterations or changing to existing classes or using UA material and stuff. The only races I'm allowing, everything out of the Volo's Guide except, I believe, Aasimar and Triton. I think everything else... Genasi are not in the Volo's Guide, are they?
That's Elemental Evil, I believe.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, anything out of the Volo's Guide is fine except for Aasimar and Triton. Out of the PHB, you can be a Dragonborn. That's the only PHB race I'm allowing. And then out of Elemental Evil, I'm allowing Aarakocra. However, we can only have one of each race in the party. Everybody's got to be something different. Only good or neutral alignments. So nobody's going to play evil anything. I trust you guys to play evil characters, but I don't trust you guys to play evil characters. That was a lie. And when we start putting down like ideals and bonds and thing, your bond is... This is something I don't think we did in Flumphscape. I think we replaced bond with your faction. But your bond is your loyalty to some group or ideal or organization or something. Your bond needs to be directed towards your other party members. However you choose to define that for your character is up to you, but the idea is that the 5 of you have banded together for some reason, for some common goal that you're going to be working towards. Treble, you said you didn't have the Xanathar's Guide?
No, but I have I have a copy of the section for the character that I wanted for the race I wanted to be.
Okay, because one cool thing in the Xanathar's Guide that we're going to do in this campaign is what I'm calling an aspect. Every class in the Xanathar's Guide has, like, in their flavor text.
Oh no, I have Xanathar's. I thought you meant Volo. Sorry.
So yeah, every class in the Xanathar's Guide has, on like the first page in their flavor text, they have like a specific class aspect. Like the monk is a monastic icon. Fighter, I think, is their trainer or mentor. And I think this is a good role-playing tool. Yeah, fighter has their instructors. They have heraldic signs. Like there's all kinds of things just to give each different class a little bit more flavor. And I was thinking of using that as a role-playing tool to give you guys the opportunity to earn more blips as we go. So, let's start rolling dice for character stats. This is fun. Everybody orient the table a particular way so you can see, like me and Treble, on the bottom of the screen, and the initiative order is right side up. We are going to roll your stats, and I want you to write them out somewhere on the table, preferably in your color, so that they are at least partway legible. You're going to roll 3d6 8 times and write down the whole array of 8 numbers.
I'm going to use the text tool.
Text tool would be excellent, yes.
Oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to try and...
We got extra type here's. There they are.
Oh boy. I might go back to writing them down.
Okay, if whatever you have to do, man.
There we go.
So the way we're generating stats is I'm having all the players. They're going to generate 8 numbers. Each one is 3d6. And then you'll be able to pick when you go to apply stats to your character. You can pick any array on the table. So you guys will have... This way we get all the fun of rolling up stats. Like, look at that 6 that Treble just rolled down there. There we go. Yeah, put that in your array and smoke it. We get all the fun of rolling up stats, but we don't have to worry about like one player getting totally shafted on their rolls because everybody will have the opportunity.
Guys,
look
I think I
at that
won.
3.
Oh, that makes up for it.
Yeah, see that? There you go. We have a 17 and a 3 in the same array there. McDohl's array down here is looking pretty sexy, I gotta say.
Whoops. Except I keep...
Ah!
No! What did you do?
Someone deleted my shit.
God damn
Wait,
it.
where'd mine go? Unfortunately, I wrote it down in Notepad, but...
Hold on, I'm gonna push the back in time button.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're gonna have to push that a lot.
There, I pushed back in time. Is everybody happy now?
Yes.
Yes.
That was my bad. I didn't know it would delete everybody's.
I love Tabletop Simulator. I get YouTube comments all the time like, how come you use this shitty virtual table? Why don't you use Roll20? It's because of shit like this.
I'm not gonna lie, for all the bad rolls I had last campaign, I'm actually not doing too bad here.
So you're not necessarily rolling your own stats. You're just rolling one
Sure.
possible array. Well, let's look at what McDohl's got up here. Oh, he's got a type here, and it's at an angle, so that's interesting. Destil, I'm looking at these numbers, man. What did you do?
I mean...
That's a 5, a 6, and a 3. I don't feel bad, but I don't think anybody's going to pick your array.
Okay. I'm
Can someone
progressively
in
worse.
Beyond invite me into the campaign? Because I don't actually have the material I
You
thought
want
I'd
to
have.
go to Discord and click
How many
Okay,
numbers
awesome.
do we roll?
You need to roll 8 times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Treble has elected to put all his numbers on a different... He's got like a cloud of numbers down here.
There you go. That's a nice number, though. Saw that one.
So here's how the numbers are going to work. 6, whenever you choose an array, 6 of them are going to be your stats. 2 of them are going to be your starting influence.
This type here bullshit. Oh my gosh.
You're almost
Help.
there. One
Oh,
one of your numbers is white.
I don't
All
know
right.
what happened.
I'm gonna help. Don't worry.
We're going to get you through this, man. It's going to be okay.
There. How about you roll? I'll type. I saw you got a
16.
17 earlier. All right. What's the next one?
16.
All right.
That's a
And
pretty
what's your
goddamn
last
good
one?
array.
10.
10. So 16, 17, 16. I think everyone's using this one. 10, 10, 6, 12. That's badass.
So you need to assign 6 stats and 2 influences. And your 2
Yeah, I gotta
influence
use
numbers we probably won't apply until we start doing some world building and figuring out what all's on this map.
Can I move this down to the...
Don't. I'm gonna write it down in a notepad real quick, and then
Okay.
you can do whatever you want to.
Well, I just...
6, 10, 16, 10, 12, 17. 12, 17, 16, 10. And you want to move it down now?
Yeah.
I'll do that for you.
All right. So I think everybody had a character concept in mind, but the last time I went around to ask people about it, some people said, no, I don't want to play that anymore. I want to do something totally different. So, I mean, to my viewers out there, these are discussions that we've literally been having for months now. Like after every session, we've been powwowing a little bit about this campaign, and now it's actually go time.
Hey, Brickroad.
Yes.
This is very important because D&D Beyond is not showing the guide races for me.
Yeah, I don't have them either.
Do you currently have a character in that campaign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then save it and then go back into it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we'll start with McDohl, because he's the one who's been messaging me the most about his character in between campaigns. And I kind of don't like discussing D&D outside of my D&D mindset, and McDohl has been bombarding me with character questions. So
It was like the one day, Brickroad. Come on now.
I have 418,000 Discord messages here.
They all
No,
gather
it's
up.
it's not showing. It's not showing it for me.
All right, then try. Once you've got that character in that campaign, and you can go to campaigns and see that character in there, sign out and then sign back in, and you should be able to see everything.
Now, to be clear, you're saying he'll be able to see like the Volos races and things?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Is anybody planning to use any UA material?
Wait, no, I think Brick might have broken it.
What do you mean?
Brick,
broken?
did
Yeah.
you remove Nick's character?
By kicking Nick out? Oh no.
Was I not supposed to?
Yeah, you need to have the person who's sharing the stuff have at least one character in a campaign.
Oh, well,
So
I didn't.
it's fine. I'll
no.
just get in contact with Nick and he can re-add it.
I didn't know that. Okay.
All right. So this is awesome.
So now we can't roll up characters.
It'll come back. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, Nodal.
It'll be fine.
We're still gonna let McDohl go first, though.
Okay.
But before you do, is anybody planning on using any of the UA material?
No.
Everybody wants to do stuff like out of the books.
I might. I haven't decided what I want to do yet.
Okay.
One of my ideas was on UA.
Okay. So yeah, McDohl.
I decided to play a Hobgoblin Paladin.
Now, the problem is, I did say no classes with spellcasting, and paladins definitely have spellcasting.
But as we discussed, you said you'd be okay with just dumping all of those spellcasting slots into smites.
Which is what most paladins do anyway. So
There you go.
this is why I said there are asterisks involved. So
As
you'll-
you know, Dr. Brickroad.
So you will have your spellcasting chart, but you're basically just going to be converting those directly into smites instead of gaining spells
Yeah.
to use. I guess for the time being, then, until we have all the options and things, we can't use the Google Sheets, really? We can't, Nodal? You gotta...
Dude, no. But like we all know what we picked, right? So we can at least go over like character ideas. We
Yeah,
don't need to know our stats.
Well, you will, because...
We will, but I mean,
Just put them in a notepad or something for now.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it
that's
away.
what I'm doing.
That's
what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I just shot off Nick a message. So when he spots that, he should get us back in.
So we've got a Hobgoblin Paladin. Do we know anything else about him?
Her, not really at the moment, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
We're not going to have any blank spots on the character sheet by the time we're done with session 0. We're going to fill in everything.
Oh no, absolutely.
Alignment, ideal, bond, flaw, all that stuff. So what kind of paladin were you thinking of?
I was thinking of using the Oath of Conquest out of the Xanathar's book.
That's a good choice. So if you look at the paladin pages of the book, it's page 36 in Xanathar.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm calling aspect, as far as your like role playing, it gives you some examples like symbol, nemesis, temptation for paladins, or three ideas of what might be the aspect of your character class. And then if any of those things come up during a session and complicate things for you, you would earn a blip for it. But we're only going to pick one. Like, I don't want everybody picking 3 different aspects. Oh, personal goal is another one. I guess they give a bunch of different examples. So you know what I mean when I say, like, aspect for class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nodal, you're going to play the same character that we've been talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we got?
All right. Well, she's a Tabashi, and no, I'm playing a Aarakocra.
I was about to kick you from this game. Can you spell Aarakocra for me?
No, and here's where we're gonna start a fun game called "How many ways can Nodal misspell Aarakocra?" Aaroccra.
That's actually correct. You got it.
Wow.
I'm waiting for the mispronunciation jokes on Aarakocra.
Nick's back. We're all set.
Okay. And you're playing what class?
A monk.
Okay.
Can say monk eventually.
I don't think you guys are gonna get to. It's not gonna take long to get to level 3.
Sure, but with my character, it's a little bit more like he already is a Kensei monk in training.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of what I want when you decide your class aspect. It's part of what I want it to be. Is like, how did you get to level 1 in the class? It's kind of like your backstory. So for monk, it gives it has information about monasteries, monastic icons, and masters. You don't have to pick out of the book if you think of something else. That's all you. But Xanathars gives such great examples. I'm kind of in love with this book just in general.
I haven't looked at those yet, so I'll look at those in a moment.
Okay. Other McDohl. Good McDohl.
Yes.
Universe A McDohl. What did you decide on, my friend?
I'm going with a Dragonborn fighter. I'm gonna specialize in Battlemaster.
Okay.
Because unlike everyone else apparently who plays D&D, I really enjoy Rangers, but one, there's no magic casting in this game, and the other is
Rangers are terrible.
I'm pretty underwhelmed with Ranger options in 5e.
Have you read the UA no spellcasting Ranger?
Maybe.
There's a no spellcasting ring?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And you weren't into it? You want to do Battlemaster?
No, I wanted,
Are you going to kind of stick to a Ranger kind of motif, like a ranged?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no,
That's the way to play that.
He's not going to be ranged attack because I did ranged attack last campaign, and I'm not doing that again.
Okay.
Not for two campaigns in a row. So he's going to be dual wielding.
Okay. And so for fighter in the Xanathars guide, you have got access to that? Yes.
Yes, I do.
For aspect, the examples it gives are heraldic signs, instructors, or signature styles.
Signature styles. You're not going to make me roll a d6, right? I can pick a signature. It's going to be energetic.
Oh, okay. So you've already decided.
Yeah.
So can we look at this stuff for other classes? Because that sounds a little bit more interesting than me saying my monastery is something. Because how often are we going to go to that?
Come up with whatever you want for your aspect. I'm just try to keep it in line with the kind of stuff that is attached directly to your class somehow. Because this is how did you get to level 1 in this class? What shaped your training in your class specifically? One of the things I want to explore in this campaign that kind of we didn't get a chance to do in the first couple campaigns were character identity as tied to their race and class. What does it actually mean to be an Aarakocra in this world? How did you actually train to become a monk, and how are monks viewed in this world? We had a very cavalier attitude to all that in the first couple of campaigns. So energetic says you sing and laugh during combat as your spirit soars. You are happiest when you have a foe in front of you and a weapon in hand.
That's certainly a polite interpretation of what I'm thinking about energetic.
Okay.
But the The character I was thinking of is basically the anti-Keelian. and the inspiration for it was because I was thinking about it and I was watching Parks and Rec at the time. I'm thinking Andy Dwyer, where he's just really excited and really happy about everything all the time.
Just happy to be here.
But he always gives 110% everything and commits himself to everything.
So you're kind of like me then. After you've played a character for a long time, like you want your next character to be like on the other side of the compass.
Maybe.
Because I'm the same. I played a lawful evil warlock for 17 levels, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to play just like a boneheaded good guy for a while.
The square lantern jaw.
All right. Treble, do you have any idea?
Well, I wanted to be a kobold rogue.
Okay. Oh, actually, let me backpedal real quick, because McDohl,
Hey.
not you, the good McDohl, in the Xanathar's guide, no other player is going to have these options because nobody else is playing a race out of the player's handbook. But somewhere in the Xanathar's guide, they do have extra feats for the PHB races. In case you ever feel like taking feats, I want you to know those are on the table for you.
Okay.
They'd be on the table for everybody, but Xanathar only has stuff for the PHB races. All right, now Treble, you're going to be a Kobold rogue.
Yeah,
What
I was
kind-
thinking going down the basic thief path, because kobolds are, they're very craven. They're opportunistic fighters. They lay traps. They don't fight on fair ground.
Somewhere McLean is very happy to hear that. Okay. If you get your Xanathar,
I was
material
I
out.
was looking at that. I don't think any of this really. This is stuff like like you like seeing a smile from a pretty face, or you're the master of a local thieves guild, which doesn't really fit with a.
we'll be thinking about where you learned your rogue techniques and how they shaped your Kobold as a person.
Well, I was thinking that this is just something that the kobold picked up defending its warren, and then somewhere along the way it the warren got wiped out and he's the last kobold of his tribe. So
Then figure out a way to summarize that down into 1 or 2 lines, and we'll call that your aspect.
okay, give me just a few minutes then.
I'm expecting Destil is looking at these 5 arrays on the table and using that to determine
That is using Treble.
what his final decision is going to be. Is everybody using this red array down here?
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's using that one. I arranged them all, and there's almost no reason to not use that one.
Okay.
There's one that gives you an extra +1 in exchange for a bunch of +3s.
So are we all going to have the same stats? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like
Oh.
we're using standard array. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
That's
we got
last time I
bonus
did this, my Curse of Strahd game, I did the same thing, and everybody used the same array there too. The thing is, though, there was none that was as dreadfully bad as Destil's up here.
So I attempted to use this method, Brick. I didn't do 8 numbers. I only did 6. Maybe
Yeah.
that was my problem. But everyone rolled so atrociously that the standard array was miles better. So I was just like, all right, fuck it. No, we'll just use standard array.
Did you have them all do 3d6, or did you do 4d6?
3d6, yeah.
Yeah, usually when you're going to do something like this, I would do 4d6. But
Yeah,
for this
I
game
should have.
specifically, I'm doing 8 different stats.
Yeah,
So.
there's so many of us.
The one I like is sort of like this, but everyone arranges basically you roll 1 extra stat. Everyone arranges theirs in the order they roll them, and then it's a crossword puzzle. You can pick anything up, down, or diagonal.
That sounds like something that belongs in Homestuck.
I've heard of that.
All right,
It sounds unnecessarily complicated to me.
Destil, we have to know what are we playing?
I don't know yet.
Don't
I'm
know
still
yet.
trying to make up my mind.
Okay.
Because I decided that the character concept I originally had was maybe a little bit closer to Nath and Terran. I mean, it was a lot farther away from Serenity, but since I wasn't playing Serenity for a while,
Okay.
so I'm leaning towards maybe I have like 2 ideas. Let me look at one thing here. I'm either leaning towards like a skirmisher rogue or maybe a multi-class fighter rogue.
Okay.
I think that's called a
Basically,
bard in this edition.
Basically a light fighter type.
Ah, but you can't be a bard because bards have spellcasting.
I mean, you could just be a terrible bard.
And if we hadn't already gotten the Dragonborn, I would totally be going with Dragonborn Samurai, so...
I think there was a point where Andy Dwyer was a samurai, wasn't there?
I was thinking about being a samurai. I was thinking about it, but
Does anybody...
I'm leaning into that ranger idea. So
I just want you to know, if anybody becomes a samurai, I will spend the entire game calling you senpai.
all right, so no one will be a samurai. Got it.
I'm gonna be a slamurai.
Does anybody have a character name yet?
I do.
Okay. Does anybody else have a character name yet?
I do. I was gonna name my kobold Birdie.
Birdie?
Yeah, Birdie.
All right, Nodal, what do you got for me?
All right.
Are you about to whistle?
My character name is.
I thought you said you knew how to whistle.
Yeah.
I practiced, but I lost it. It turns out if you try to say words before whistling, that's going to be another fun part of this campaign. Is I will get better at whistling as the campaign goes on.
Oh God.
So.
All right. So 3 whistles, but the translation for that in common is the pattern which is formed as the wind blows over the sand.
Can we just call him Bill? Like, is that a thing?
No.
That's a whistle,
Like,
Nodal,
what-
just so you know.
God, I can't whistle either, and that makes me so jealous.
So what are the other? This Nodal has no input on this next question. So go ahead and you can mute your mic and just sit there.
Oh,
What
wait,
what does
real quick,
everybody else call him?
What was his name again?
The pattern which is formed as the wind blows over the sand.
Windy.
Windy, yeah.
Wendy.
Everybody's calling him Windy.
Yeah.
So when I make the little nameplate placard for the top corner of the screen, Nodal, it's going to say Windy, but I'll put a little music note next to it as a compromise.
What were you gonna
I
say?
mean, that's
Nodal?
fine.
Yeah. So we have Birdie and Windy. Who else has a character name?
I already decided on Raazu.
Raazu, that's 2 A's
Yes.
and a zoo.
Yep.
Okay. Is it just is the Dragonborn just going to be Andy Dwyer?
No.
You're
Burt Macklin.
Burt Macklin.
Paladin of Bahamut. No. I hate naming things.
We can go to
There's-
fantasynamegenerators.com.
I'm on
There's a-
fantasynamegenerators.com.
there's some.
I'm
names
really
in
mad
back
because I
of
really like
Xenophons.
Burt Macklin, and you just threw
Yeah.
that out.
There's a whole like set of names in back of the Xenothars. If you got that, like the whole last chapter is about that.
I do have Xanathars.
That would be a betrayal to fantasynamegenerators.com.
It would.
I never get good names from there, but that's just me.
We've gotten some pretty amazing names from there over the years.
Chet Dog Toucher.
Did you say Chet Dog Toucher?
That's a good name.
That's horrible. Horrible.
Dogs like to be touched.
So I have a new campaign name now. It's not Flumph with the Wild anymore. Now it's Dogs Like to Be Touched. And we'll get banned off of YouTube inside of...
Flumps like to be touched too, I imagine.
Ugh. The thing is, like, Breath of the Flumph sounds like a Flumph just farted. And there's already, like... that's canonical. That's how they attack you, is by expelling gas. So
I just picture a flump just gently blowing in somebody's ear.
Adrex. There we go. That's a fun Dragonborn name.
Adrex,
That was better.
Yeah.
like Adrax,
Adrex.
EX, Adrex. That's a good, solid Dragonborn name. Now, Adrex and Birdie, you two are going to be working together a little bit on putting together the lore of the world in as much as it pertains to dragons, since you both are draconic creatures. One of the things in this world that I want you to do in the campaign is religion stems from living gods. Most of the gods in this world are going to be people like you can go and visit. Like for Adrex, it might be an ancient dragon that lives in a mountain somewhere with godlike powers. Nodal floated the idea of importing like the animal lords from the Beastlands as godlike entities. With the exception of orcs and goblinoids who worship dead gods. If you read through Volos, all of their gods are just completely geared towards war. You guys just came from Planescape, so you had a little bit of a taste of that when you went to Acheron once or twice. And that's what sets orcs and goblinoids apart from other species who worship entities that actually exist in the world.
I'm pretty sure if you're going to use the stuff from Volos, pretty sure Volos says that the kobolds worship a god that's trapped in a never-ending maze.
Yeah, the gnomes did it.
Yeah, and then the gnomes did it, so they hate gnomes.
But even that, like, never-ending maze, like, for the purposes of this campaign, we won't take that to mean, like, on another plane of existence that's unreachable somewhere. We're going to take that to mean, like, beneath some fabled mountain on this map somewhere is this endless gnomish maze created with illusions or whatever that has trapped your god. Whether or not that's going to shape your character at all is up to you. But that's kind of how I wanted to use religion in this campaign. And to bring back a distinction that Nick gave us at the end of Flumphscape, the world will have priests, but no clerics. There's no spellcasting. Does anybody have an alignment for me yet?
Birdie's going to be lawful neutral.
Adrex is going to be chaotic good.
Lawful neutral.
I can't decide between neutral good and neutral. I think probably neutral good.
Neutral good?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll put you down as neutral good. Alright, I'm going to start filling out my XP sheet here. Is this group going to have a party leader? That's something our first campaign did to pretty decent effect, and something our second campaign very didn't do to extreme chaotic effect at a lot of times. Does anybody want to step up and be our leader?
I feel like it plays more to the campaign of all these different races working together if we don't have a leader.
Okay. You want to play...
Think...
Nodal wants to play Flumphscape again, is what I'm hearing.
I feel like if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Adrex, but if I'm pursuing the he's Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec angle, it's going to fall flat.
Like, everyone can correct me if you're getting a different impression from this campaign, but so far, like, our Planescape characters were all working at wildly different ends.
Right.
Means to, like, what we wanted. I feel like this campaign is, like, taking the other side of that, where we might not necessarily have a party leader, per se, but we all mostly are trying to work for the same means. Like, it's more cooperative.
Like, think of it this way. All of the different monster factions that are going to be on this map, and you're going to have Dragonkin, Goliaths, I've got Warforged in here, Aarakocra, Firbolgs, and, like, a Feywild touched area, Shadowfell touched area, Goblinoids, Orcs. It's going to be very chaotic, very violent, and a lot of it's going to be very, very evil. You guys are kind of outcasts from your own individual societies to some degree, that you found each other and you're working towards some kind of common goal. It's not going to be like a standard, like in Faerun, where you go to a little human village and you can let your guard down. Your guys are always going to have to be watching your back, because there's always going to be dangerous stuff out there. So it could be that you all are working towards a common goal and you have a party leader who calls the shots, or it could be something as simple as, well, I used to be in this Hobgoblin army, but I've been outcast and now I need a new group to help watch my back or I'm dead.
Raazu would insist that she's the leader, but everybody's free to just humor her in that regard.
You are the only one that's given me a lot of backstory about your character yet.
And I'm basically throwing it all out.
You're throwing it all out. Okay. So I'll go ahead. I'm gonna delete 13,000 of those Discord messages.
Okay, that's good. Throw a good chunk of it out. Like there's gonna be like the basic thread there.
Oh, one more house rule that I did forget to go over that we've been playing with for years. But this for the benefit of starting a new campaign. Everybody knows I don't break ties in initiative based on your decks. I just go alphabetically. It's easier for me. It ends up not mattering 99% of the time anyway. I break ties. First, I break them in favor of players over monsters, and then I break them alphabetically.
All right, but I'm going to insist that you categorize mine alphabetically by my actual name.
I'm going to go by Windy. You're a W. Nodal. I'm going to... Okay. After we're done today... After everybody else leaves, we'll sit down, you and me, and I'll teach you.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a learning process over the course of a year. Every week, you're going to be like, man, Nodal's clearly been doing something with his life.
So, like, I have a question. DM, I need a DM ruling on this. Do kobolds and dragonborn have lips that allow them to whistle?
Sure, why not?
I was just wondering, because...
Raazu.
Yes.
Playing a lawful neutral character.
Yeah.
What does that mean to Raazu? How does she... Because my interpretation of lawful neutral is to always follow the laws and order of your society without any regard to the well-being of what those actions... what the consequences of those actions might be. Like a Modron. What is Raazu's interpretation of lawful neutral?
Well, considering that we live in more lawless place than anything at the moment, that she doesn't really see the point of following the law. It's more she's following her own personal code, as it were.
Now, the Hobgoblins specifically are a pretty lawful race. They live in a very chaotic world, clearly, but they have a particular hierarchy that they follow. Hobgoblins, amongst the goblinoids, kind of run the show. They're the ones who are in the leadership positions. They're the ones that wrangle all these goblins and bugbears and whatever else together to accomplish their goals. Where did Raazu sit within that hierarchy at first?
Oh, she was she went through her basic military training and, basically starting her on the road to being a paladin. And then she was captured during a sortie in toward the south in the area where Treble's type here is.
Okay.
And there she was captured, and then she spent a few years as a prisoner of war, basically making big rocks into small rocks.
Okay.
Before she and a group of others escaped and fled back north.
So Nodal asked what the deal was with this broken wall. All my notes say is this: goblinoids inhabit most of this territory over in the west, and then orcs inhabit most of this territory over across the other side of the river. This was a section of this wall separating your area from this human kingdom on the other side used to extend out here, and this kingdom sends exiles across the wall as punishment. So there are some human settlements over on this side who are exiled from that kingdom. Essentially, the goblins, some point way in the past, broke the wall and got through, and the humans had to defend their territory, and they lost that ground. That was my thought. If at any point I give you my notes and you say, no, that's dumb, let me know, and we'll change it. Because I would like to build the lore based on some of your ideas. But you're saying...
That totally makes sense.
So she would... But I mean, in the years since, the goblins have been throwing themselves at this wall, trying to find ways, manning pirate ships up and down the coasts and whatnot.
Yeah. And she was captured in one of those kind of sorties.
Okay. So on page 46 of Volo, they list the military ranks of the Hobgoblin. How high up had Raazu gotten?
Oh, bottom. She had
just a soldier, just the rank and file. Okay.
Yeah, just a rank and file.
And what is her? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I'm assuming not. Maglubiet. Maglubiet? That sounds right. Is the god of goblinoid conquest.
If you'd asked her about that prior to her capture, she would have been all in, like, her alignment would have been lawful evil before she got captured.
Okay.
And then afterward, that kind of tempered her a little bit. Like, she's still on that razor's edge, though.
Okay. So we're going to need a 1 or 2 line summary of her alignment, what lawful neutral means. She's going to need an ideal, like a belief that she pursues over the course of her life. A bond, which is going to be her view of her role in this party. An aspect for your class, and my personal favorite, a character flaw.
Yep. I'm working on that now.
All right. Nodal.
Yeah.
We're thinking neutral good?
I'm thinking neutral good.
All right. What does neutral good mean to Windy?
So, she kind of takes those, or he kind of takes those separately. That's right, I'm not playing Raazu. Neutrality is the only alignment that actually exists, because both law and chaos are just misunderstandings of how things actually are.
Okay.
Because chaos is not understanding any of the rules that underpin reality, and law is foolishly thinking yourself to understand all of them. Maybe I should just play a woman. Kind of brings, attaches that to basically all forms of life. Like, for example, in a society, laws exist, but they don't actually work like how people say they do. Like, you'll see people who are powerful are basically able to avoid whatever laws they care about, which to them basically means that everything is actually neutrality. Good is basically working for the good of something beyond yourself. So, neutrality would be, kind of just making your own way in the world. Evil would be working for the benefit of yourself above others. And so good is kind of just, there has to be something beyond you that you're working for.
I have an old 2nd edition book that you're reminding me of called The Book of Villains. Mm-hmm. And it has a section that gives a sample villain for each type of alignment to kind of give the idea of how to create a non-evil villain. And the only one it doesn't give an example for is neutral good, because a neutral good, you can really not cast a character as a villain. That's kind of what I mean. That's what your explanation reminded me of just now. A little bit. And you can condense that down into 1 or 2 easy to read lines in my chart.
Sure.
And also be thinking about your ideal, bond, flaw, and your class aspect.
Oh, I've got my class aspect.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm gonna do something based on one of the fighting styles for fighter, but it's gonna be monastic tradition.
Okay.
And that's redirection, to use the forces that already exist to create your desired outcomes.
Use the forces to already exist.
Use the forces that already exist to create your desired outcome. So, just as an example, I'm planning on playing a ranged character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a wizard would control the wind to, cause some kind of havoc, someone who's proficient in the monastic tradition of redirection would shoot an arrow, which the wind then directs the arrow to perform what you need to do.
Okay.
I'm not providing the force, the wind is.
This sounds suspiciously similar to Mahogany's perfect state of being.
No, it's going to be very, very different.
I look
Because,
forward
like,
to it.
Whereas I would say, like, Mahogany's biggest trait is that, like, he was constantly looking for, like, what he should be doing. This character knows exactly what they want to do and how to do it.
Everybody in this campaign has a non-cipher bonus, by the way. Everybody can put that on your sheet somewhere. Okay. Adrex. Going with chaotic good. And what does that mean to Adrex? Do we have Adrex?
I turned off my mic.
Okay.
So the way I've been thinking about it and processing some of the ideas that others have come up with, to Adrex, he believes in the goodness of individuals and the purity of individuals, and individuals themselves always want to strive to be good. He doesn't understand laws and stuff like that. Those are weird and confusing, and he thinks it can be bad at times. So wants nothing to do with them. He feels that the individual possesses enough reason and power to be good, and they generally want to be, which also leads into his flaw.
Okay.
His flaw is just simply, that sounds like a great idea.
So, do you have like a 1 or 2 line alignment summary that I can put on my sheet here? We don't need one at this very moment.
Everyone tries to be good. Laws are weird and confusing. And can be bad.
Okay, I like it. I see some interesting alignment conflict between Adrex and Raazu coming up. All right. Is Birdie short for something?
No. That's just what he's always been called.
And you're going with lawful neutral.
Yes.
So, like right off the bat, like Birdie and Adrex are going to have very different outlooks on draconic society. So,
as we should, I think.
Here's what my notes kind of have on the dragons in the area. There are regular dragons spread out throughout the lands. Do you guys know what color dragon you're going to be hailing from?
Yeah, hold on. It's on my.
For Adrex, that's actually going to change one of your racial abilities. For Birdie, it's pretty much just trivia. Like kobolds don't get any.
When I was messing with the stuff and rolling, I think when I rolled color, I think he was. Hold on, I have it written down somewhere.
Okay.
But if I can get.
Well, Adrex's color is white.
A white
He's
dragon.
A white dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
The colors I got for Birdie are, he's orange. He's orange with mottled brown. Because there's a little chart that
Okay. So the basic hierarchy is you've got dragons, and then below that you'll have half dragons. Half dragons are like first generation humanoid dragon kind. It's what happens when a dragon mates with one of the other humanoid species. If half dragons continue to breed, they eventually give rise to the Dragonborn, which are the most common humanoid dragon race. Kobolds are like a different offshoot. They're kind of off in the direction of like lizard men. Kobolds are the ass end of dragon society. They're the ones that carry the piss buckets. So, whereas like a group of kobold slaves would be made to mine these tunnels out to add to their patron dragon's horde, they might have a Dragonborn taskmaster lording over them. So we have a nice lawful kobold slave in this group with his chaotic taskmaster who thinks that laws are weird and confusing.
Hey, Brick.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Does the innate spellcasting of these races still come into play or not?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
because it doesn't come off your spellcasting chart. Those are going to be like little quirks of your race that you can
Okay.
do.
I have a question as well because I'm
Sure.
looking at my sheet. Is common still the language of choice amongst us, or like should we all decide on like a different language that is the common of whatever land we live in?
They're like common. Let's put it this way: there will be a language that's common to all of the trading species that live here, but it probably won't be the same common that they speak down south.
Free common for the free people.
There you go, free common. Although they're not called free people. Like, I don't want to steal that much from George R. R. Martin.
Are there Dragonborn clans?
Yes. Like
Okay.
each patron
So-
dragon will have their own clan. Like you're a white dragonborn. That's
Yeah.
probably going to be particularly exotic in this world because there's no like Arctic or polar areas on this map. Although this northern section that kind of goes off this broken edge, I was thinking of this being a place that nobody explores because this is where I was going to put the Lord of Blades. Who's basically a god who murders everybody but his own robot armies.
Lord of Blades sucks.
But if you were to go north of there, who knows what exotic, strange places up there. Or your patron dragon could just be a white dragon who lives out of his element, or you might not have a patron dragon and you don't know your progeny at all. That's all up to you.
Well,
Frick,
what I was
what were
gonna-
those? Oh, sorry.
What I was gonna say is I'm fully embracing the whole outcast idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see Adrex being an outcast of whatever clan, whatever white dragonborn clan there is.
Well, white dragons are chromatic dragons, which are evil by nature. So right there, I almost called him Warwanax. Oh my god.
That's rough.
Right there, I mean, Adrex is already philosophically opposed to like just the greed and avarice and cruelty of chromatic dragons.
What were those personality traits that you wanted us to come up with? One of each? Alignment,
Ideal,
something flaw?
which is your belief that you pursue. Bond, which is your personal take on your place in this group of adventurers.
Okay.
Your aspect, which is from your class, which you already have.
Okay.
And then your character flaw.
Okay. I might hold off on Bond until we talk more about our party.
Yeah, which we're going to do after we get all these. We're kind of stalling at this point, so until we know what Destil's playing.
Okay.
There are pirates in this world, by the way. That's why I put all these little islands and everything over here. They're
All right, so I've got something here.
okay.
I think I'm gonna play Yuan-ti Pureblood, Mastermind Rogue.
Is the mastermind in Xanathar's?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a whole stack of books here. I'm just kind of flipping back and forth because I don't know how to use the ones in Beyond. So, 2 rogues in this group. Interesting.
Yeah, but they're
They'll be
two
pretty
very
different
different. Yeah, they're very different.
Your focus is on people and on the influence and secrets they have. Oh, so you're going to be the party leader. Just nobody else knows it yet.
Oh man, how funny would it be if we had no leader, but everyone thought that they were secretly the leader?
So,
Except for Birdie.
the Yuan-ti I have on this map are predominantly in these like marshy areas. And like Yuan-ti society kind of keeps to themselves mostly. They think they're better than everybody else. Because again, they're predominantly evil. Let me get Volos. It's in Volos, right? The Yuan-ti Pureblood?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't read that in a long, long time. So I'm going to open that up here. Ah, the snake people. You guys murdered a lot of snake people in Flumpsgate.
Sneeple.
Did you say Sneeple? You have to go
did,
away.
and
now.
Would you prefer Snersons?
No, stop that.
Don't mind me, I'm just muted while I'm typing to not interrupt people with my clack, 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 clack.
Okay. Does this character have a name or an alignment or
I'm
anything?
working
else
on that.
yet? Okay.
Neutral good.
Neutral good.
Yep.
Neutral good is a pretty good alignment. It's the only one that can't be a villain, apparently.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, it's fine.
When McDohl first told me about what race he was going to be, like I asked him, Hans, are we the baddies?
So I'm pretty sure I have a name, but everyone just knows him as Asp. He doesn't. He hasn't actually given anyone else's name.
Okay.
I'm assuming he did not. He actually didn't say what he thought. What I thought he said. What did you say?
Asp,
Oh, okay. Okay.
like the snake.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see that leading to a lot of situations that we might not avoid. I'm gonna have to say we call you Snaky.
Call him Snack Man.
Is there another better type of snake?
Snacky.
Steckman.
You can go like pure edgelord and just be Cobra with a K.
We call him Cobra Commander.
No, I'll put you down as Asp.